Good evening and welcome to the Reston Community Center Board of Governors meeting for May the 5th. We will now call the meeting to order. First order of business is approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is approval of the April 7th board
So
minutes.
moved.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the approval of the April 7th board
So
actions.
moved. Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the chair's remarks, and she'll try to make them quick because it's raining. I went yesterday to see the Loving versus Virginia, the opera, which was
Where was it?
really, it was at George Mason. It was really, I was talking to Rick Davis, who is the head of the theater school there, and he also runs the Hilton, that's where he lives. And they're gonna redo that whole complex. The sound is not great in there. And the size of the subtitles, and if you're nearsighted, it doesn't work. Every once in a while, you go, oh, I got that word. And for some reason, I'm finding that opera singers singing in English, it sounds like a foreign language, a lot of times. Every once in a while you hear, I know that word. But the voices were glorious. And the Virginia Opera, if you get a chance to see anything that they're doing, when I was reviewing, I never missed any of their things that they brought up here to George Mason. They're just incredible. I knew Madame Butterfly from front to end and cried like a crazy person. But the, and we all know, because when Ken and I did the panel for Historic Trust, we were talking about this because it's a part of the history of Virginia. And you know that law was not passed until 1967. But then I found out that Alabama did not remove the miscegenation language in their state constitution until 2000. Sometimes you take one step forward and 3 steps back. The poem tonight, Life by Charlotte Bronte. Life, we need this.
I did.
Yes. Life, believe, is not a dream, so dark as sages say. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament its fall? Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Gratefully, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. What? We're gonna have to coordinate my underscoring here. What though death at times steps in and calls our best away? What though sorrow seems to win or hope a heavy sway? Yet hope, again elastic springs, unconquered though she fell. Still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear us well. Manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously, can courage quell despair. That is in reference to our earlier conversations. Next order of business is introduction of visitors.
And a visitor.
Yes.
I'm Chris. I'm the network analyst here at RCC.
see it, I'm just kind of here to sit in and just see. I know it's probably not popular now,
Yes, it is.
No, it's allowed, yeah,
Yes,
you
it
can
is.
do that.
It's all right. No. You're a citizen, you're a member of the community, and we got no secrets in here.
Yeah, stick around long enough.
Yeah, as I said, yes.
You hear something.
Okay. The next, we don't have any committee reports. Nothing.
Well, the one that's in here, I don't think we should have, because we've already approved that.
Yeah. And it's not, and it's just the type, the heading is here, but nothing else. Okay, next is the board member input on activities attended since the last we met. And we'll start with.
All right, perfect. It was a light month for me, but I did go to the RTCA public meeting, which is the first time they've held one since before COVID.
Wow,
It's been a really long time. So it was interesting. Boston Properties was there to kind of discuss the next phase. The next phase of the next phase of Reston Town Center. So obviously the first phase is done, Fannie Mae Building, Skymark, and the hotel. But they kind of gave a timeline and layout of what the former CIA building site would be, and obviously potential performing arts center. So it was good, and there was good feedback, and it was a productive meeting.
So I did some PNC things, and attended the Gordon Theater grand opening, which was terrific. It was very, very well done. Pleasure to see everybody.
I attended that same event, a lot of budget meetings. It's, actually, just before Bill, I spoke to the Board of Supervisors and their public hearings, because I and then two of my colleagues from the Human Services Council, and then Bill right after them. And then I'm on a couple other budget meetings. It's been a lot of budget stuff. And actually, and then earlier today, I invigilated at South Lakes. So, International Baccalaureate, IB, they call everything something different, right? It's like you don't take an exam, you sit for a paper, right? And like everything's got different terms. And they don't want what we would call a proctor, they call an invigilator. You are introducing vigilance into you are the one who is making vigilance happen in that context.
Did you bring vigilance into it?
Actually, the main role of the invigilators in this as you can tell, I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm able to say it fairly smoothly. The main role, honestly, is to walk around with a box of tissues, so when kids need a tissue, they can have a tissue. You bring them a pen or an extra booklet, but no, we're not sitting there saying, keep your eye on your own paper.
You should be called in tissue later.
And tissue.
But I haven't practiced saying that one. Invigilator I have. So,
And they don't teach civics.
Lots of
yes, they do.
meetings. Yes, they do for the IB.
They do teach
They do.
People say that all the time, but they are wrong. They teach physics. Civics. Also, it's like a team invigilator, but not civics. Okay, but yes, they do teach civics.
Lots of meetings, LGT, unveiling.
Delilah.
Delilah Gordon LGT unveiling. That's what we're going to the LGT. That's right. Opening of the farmers market a couple of Saturdays ago.
Yeah.
And that'll go until almost December.
It
And
usually goes to the first week of December.
lots of budget meetings and other reorganization meetings. And I think it's pretty sweet. I see where this is getting into Bill Billiman's territory, where Reston Nationals is offering RA $8.5 million. We'll see how quickly RA changes their tune about support for the golf course and its development. Yeah.
What is that again? Say that.
Yes,
Cash.
The golf course owners are offering RA $8.5 million for their support of their plan to build 300 houses on Reston Beach.
No,
No,
two-
it's
288.
288.
Oh, no, that's the easy
Yeah.
one. It's just they were going for the other one.
No, I think it's a 288.
Just-
And it's 300, the one I read today was 300.
Huh.
So, should be interesting. Money talks, it always does.
Nice.
I'm not.
How much I can get out of them, I have just as much as they want.
I don't know. So I know. Hey, I'm gonna go to myself. So I have our last meeting. I've attended a couple of meetings with let's see, the Southgate Community Center, or it's actually Kathy Higgins Community Center at Southgate. I'm on a liaison on the board. They're in the process of trying to get a scholarship awarded to the students that are that go to the community center there, but also are served by the community center, who may or may not be going to college, but also have a skill set. So they're setting out to kind of reach out to kids that have skill set that they may need some assistance to go to college or to pursue their professional desire. So that's the kind of thing. So we're trying to hopefully expand it next year. But there's about 7 or 8 kids that are applying for it, and we'll be doing some interviews on Thursday, and then hopefully selecting a young person to get some cash for helping them go forward with their dreams. And then I also have done some board meeting with Reston Museum, lots going on there, planning for different things, gearing up for our big events for the summertime. And then also I had the opportunity, this is not as a board member, but personally to speak at the Mothers of Multiples Convention. I have twins, for those who don't know, but I used to be a member a long time ago, the Mothers of Multiple Club. They needed a guest speaker. I said, I'll speak, I'll do that for a particular thing. And I spoke about social identity and interaction. So it's kind of based on my TED Talk, but it was very well received. People go like, what? So there's a lot of things out there in the diversity, equity, inclusion space that people really don't know what that means. And so it's really nice to talk about it right now when my profession, the people who do what I do are under attack. So it was nice to do this, and it was down at UVA, so I got to go visit my old stomping grounds and see a lot of neat things there. Saw for the first time, there's a monument there for the enslaved workers at UVA, which if you haven't seen it, you really need to go. I can't believe I haven't been down before, but one of the things that for me that was very humbling to read is at certain points in time, there were more enslaved workers helping the young men, gentlemen at UVA go to school. But they were building what they did and getting sick. The whole thing, it was very hard to hear that. And I'm like, wow. And so I'm glad they've acknowledged this, because there's a pushback from a particular person, a higher up in Fairfax, higher up in Virginia, who doesn't like some of the DEI stuff that's going on at the University of Virginia. And so I'm glad to see that's there and it was well received. And so that was some of what I did. And then I'm just preparing for this month. I attended the Live Agora Theater unveiling, it was really kind of nice. It just well attended. It was great to see some people who haven't seen in a while. The staff here did a phenomenal job setting it, so that was really kind of neat. And that's all I did.
Yeah, I attended the LGT
I know.
theater unveiling as
Bill, you
well.
started
I
this.
did.
And we got something going here, Bill.
I know.
We've transitioned from basketball to volleyball. We've gone from underhand serve to overhand serve, and now
Jump.
running.
Jump and
smash.
push, yeah,
So,
yeah.
we haven't mastered that yet.
It takes time. It
We're
takes
working
time.
on it. Some sad news with Cheryl Simon's
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention.
Really unexpected, and just reminds us of that the community is losing a lot of its memory and history, and it's up to us to keep it going and to remind people of how this community developed and what its values are. And she will be missed. She was certainly the woman behind the man for many years.
Yes,
Yes.
and such an advocate. Yep.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna plug her book. If you didn't know, Cheryl wrote a book a couple years ago about
Yeah.
wrestling. I got a chance to talk to her twice. I've been living here for, it's gonna be 6 years in December. So I basically got here yesterday, finally rested Matt. But I got a chance to talk to her twice because Carly and I were married in front of the fountain at Lake Ann. And I think she might have still been living in Reston at that point. I can't remember when she lived in.
She just
when she
been
was-
It's been about
a
4 or
couple
5
years.
years.
Back
Yeah,
so
it was
like
like
this,
that.
yeah, so she left for Alexandria shortly after, but she was curious. I don't think we wound up in the book, but she asked us for pictures from our wedding, and I was like, oh man, this is like so cool. I don't think we made it, we made the cut, but the book is terrific.
Yeah.
But light-ish month for me too. I'm gonna go with the Gordon. I like the Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little easier.
Gordon Hall.
Robert would like.
Which is why I like the light.
Maybe the Lila. I don't know where it's at. That was a ton of fun. You probably ought to I can't help but make a scene whenever I drive Calvin around in his little red Mercedes. That's not much. I mean, it's fun for me to drive it. He enjoys it. I wasn't trying to make a scene, but we had a ton of fun, making a scene in this big celebration. And I can't remember when was Celebrate Reston in March or that was last month, wasn't it?
In the
Yeah.
Caribbean, it was April 5th.
April 5th, okay, so we talked about it already. Yeah, I think that was it then, just coming here last week.
And prayers for Congressman Conley.
Yes. That's so sad.
It's gonna be a little lost.
No kidding.
We had the wonderful film that Rebecca made for the Capra event. And I came in and if you recognize the voice that does the voiceover, it was me. One of the things I did that has nothing to do with this, but I went to see Dog Man, the musical. Which is something your son would love there.
Dog Band, the music.
Dog Man, the music.
Yeah, they
So
made
there's
a
dog
movie.
man books.
The movie, yeah, and in 2019, they made a musical of the movie. It's hysterical, it's wonderful, it's terrific. I came to the Capra breakfast and for the unveiling. And on Fridays, speaking about our history, which is why I was asking about your mother, because a lot of the old timers, we have some who are in their 90s now, were at the Margaret Boyd celebration of her life on Friday. That was really nice. Linda was there, and then I went to Loving. One of the things that I found interesting with what I was telling you about the fact that Alabama didn't change its laws until 2000. The first interracial marriage was in 1565 in St. Augustine, Florida.
That was under Spanish rule at the time.
And the Spanish,
Oh, yeah.
it was some woman from Seville and a guy from Segovia. Okay. Next order of business is the director's report, and she's promised not to read every word.
Because I don't want to. But I was told I should read stewardship and accreditation. And that's like the biggest portion of the text. So maybe I'll just read that part and kind of just give you a really brief rundown for the other areas. Because I know you guys can all read, but I was asked.
Exactly.
So I feel so polite.
We will say that you did,
You want to?
even if you.
Even though it's on
It's
video.
recorded.
It was
Video.
Oh,
And we just promised him that.
We're okay.
Okay,
We're real
all right.
meeting. It's a real meeting here.
All right, well, as many of you already mentioned, we did unveil the marquee for the Lila Gordon Theater, and it was absolutely beautiful. We had wonderful weather for it. We did a lot of prep work to get ready for our site visitors. I think it was like every time I walked out of the office, a different area was being cleaned. It was awesome. So both locations, Lake Ann, Hunters Woods, were looking in tip-top shape. We are gonna be doing another physical security assessment. Actually, I think they're coming, I'm meeting with Elizabeth Pruitt. She'll be coming in to do a full assessment. Last one was done in 2017. Kind of crazy that it's been that long. We had a long conversation with Ron Shavaro to talk through it, and he believes that this would warrant another visit. We're excited to get them back on site. Equity, we're still working on the rest in membership cards with Cornerstones. So that's coming to fruition. Matt McCall, I found this really interesting myself. I was not aware of this. This is his 4th year of actually teaching CPR and first aid to Cornerstone patrons. I absolutely love that this is getting out to the community, and he's doing a great job with it. It's great that we have someone in-house that is able to do it. Community connections, we had staff from Lifelong Learning attend the Langston Hughes Middle School Career Day. They said they really enjoyed it. They always like getting out there, getting their all the interest out there to the kids to make them aware of what they're all is offered at the sites and what they all can get involved with. And we were having a bigger conversation about how we need to start making sure that other departments are heavily involved, because it's not just leisure learning, lifelong learning where they're gonna find interest in, but everybody should be attending, like network analysts. We did have a lot of cancellations because of weather, so things got rained out. We did as much as we could with moving things indoors, but springtime is in the air. So we did what we could. The aquatics team did train the waterfront staff. I thought this was also a really cool piece of information that support the Reston Masters Lake Swim. So our aquatics team here trained their staff. So pretty neat. Again, a really good way to provide outreach to the community. Programs and services. The youth, I wanted to focus on this one because unfortunately I didn't actually get to see any pictures of it, but it sounded like it was well attended. It was the youth and teens paint splatter party where they utilized, or I should say, upcycled or recycled old poster boards that we couldn't use anymore. So they utilized those as kind of like their canvas and got into the like graffiti art and this splatter paint art, and they did it all just behind RCC, and they enjoyed it. Really cool thing to be a part of. Again, this focused in on Matt certifying 18. This is RCC staff members at this location. This is something we've been talking about, wanting to move towards all site staff being certified for CPR and AED utilization. I think that, you know, it's an easy lift. We have in-house staff that can teach it, and why wouldn't we? Communications. I am sure that probably most of you actually saw the banners out, like in that corridor where you're kind of walking into the community room. We did have them up in time for the site visitors for the reaccreditation, and I think they look beautiful. I think they kind of like show off that space and really brighten the area. The other area that I think it was like a worked between media communications and lifelong learning was they did the showcase. I don't know if that makes you refer to it as like a bragging display of things that RCC has obtained, and they were going with the cherry blossoms theme. It's very pretty, so if you haven't seen it, I would recommend stopping by. It's the glass enclosure right by the kitchen. They did a very nice job. All right, stewardship and accreditation. I'm gonna read it, okay?
Sure.
Bear with me. RCC hosted the CAPA review team the week of April visit on April 30th through May 2nd. The CRT were deeply impressed with the strong sense of community and staff engagement. They really grasped how RCC has evolved from being just a physical space to becoming a true community hub where staff are deeply invested in making an impact rather than just earning a paycheck. They were especially complimentary of the leadership team, emphasizing our focus on strategic planning and the importance of reimagining processes to reduce administrative bureaucracy and the push towards technology integration to improve operations and data management. Ed, the review team lead, acknowledged and commended us on how well we deal with the challenges of transitioning leadership after a 41-year legacy while maintaining community trust. They observed cross-departmental collaboration and great organizational alignment, and staff's excitement and readiness to embrace change. They commended the leadership's vision and the importance placed on strategies to foster creativity and innovation while maintaining compliance with county requirements. That really, I think, this is a big part that hit home when we were meeting with him during our final debrief, was he got it. Like, he got the message we were putting out there, and I thought it was, Bibi said it so well. She goes, I don't know if I've ever felt so seen. Like, he gets what we've been trying to do. And she hit the nail on the head. It really was that. He got it without, like, there was no pause. It was like he was taking the words out of our mouth. So it was an amazing visit. We did have Mark Zubaili get the Sharon Bulova Award for the Exemplary Administrative Professionals. He's the 4th recipient from RCC that received this. We went and celebrated him at Government Center. We were very excited to acknowledge him. He's done great work. And so, do you want me to report on her activity as well? What Bibi attended?
That's
We
it.
don't care.
Okay.
It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of
We
meetings.
don't care. Okay.
It's a lot of meetings.
Yeah, a lot of
All right. Meetings.
Thank you.
There was only one small detail that was left out.
Well,
We did get a perfect store.
Oh, we did.
I
Yes.
hadn't heard what the result was.
Yeah.
They are submitting their recommendation. We hit 154 standards.
Nice.
0 missed.
Kudos.
Yes.
Kudos
They,
to the staff. Kudos to staff.
yes.
Can I just share one thing? I know you're going to, but one of the things about Bibi, that last thing she talked about there, she attended the Board of Supervisor breakfast, but also the presentation of the 50th anniversary of the Fall of Zion. Most of you know about Bibi, but she has spoken several times at my class that I teach at George Mason and also online about her story and how she came to the United States and what it was about, and the whole Fall of Saigon and how it impacted her. Some of you weren't alive when this happened, but that's I'm looking, some of you are very young, you weren't alive yet. That was you. That was such a big thing in the world, particularly in the United States. And for those of us in the military family, my father did 3 tours of duty there, but to hear Bibi from the other side, how hard it was for her to come here and what it was like coming and establishing herself as an American, a U.S. citizen. So I'm pretty sure the 50th anniversary is a big deal. So
Yes.
I just was like, yeah, I'm sure she's feeling a lot right now.
Just to be clear, the half cuts across this way, right? So like, I think it's that half.
Oh, yeah, 3 young
Not
people.
including him.
3 young people.
Not including him. It's that half.
No, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I've seen there's some younger people that are really, like, you might be one of those people too.
Yeah.
That are-
Oh, yeah.
85, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are,
Oh, yeah.
you're very young. So, but that's a big deal.
But I did go to Vietnam recently.
I know, you were
Orders.
telling me, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
For such a young person, it's surprising
Yeah.
we're having our 50th anniversary this year.
Wow.
So I don't know how that happened.
So I just thought that was an important thing that people should know. That was a
Yeah.
big part of who Bibi is. And she
Yeah.
shares her story and has written a phenomenal poem about it. So I just thought, that's all.
I did have one little question. So I saw that the newsletter was renamed. Did you want to go represent us? Like, we got an award for our newsletter last month.
This is it's like Blue Pen, or I'm not gonna get the name correct, don't
Yeah,
quote me on that.
did that happen? Were we awarded?
We were awarded, I guess, we know we were getting something, I don't know what placement it was.
Blue pen,
Blue
Oh,
Pen.
no, yeah. Well, that's right, because we were one of 3.
Right.
Right, 2 are finalists.
So we knew we were getting something.
So did we get we're first place inside? I'll text you.
this is for the newsletter?
Yeah. Just curious.
Okay. Is there any continuing business? Is there any new business? Look at all of the events down at the bottom. And pick one from column A.
Actually, we'll see what works out.
I know, I think we have to pick them all, don't we?
Yeah.
Just about. Okay, does anybody have any other words they have to say tonight? No, he.
Bill wants to speak at length about it.
No, he never has any extra words. Okay, so the May 5th Cinco de Mayo,
Cinco de Mayo.
yes,
Exactly.
I had no margaritas
As Trump would
today.
say, May
The
5th.
night is early. Right, yes, exactly.
Okay. All right, the meeting for May 5th, 2025 of the Reston Community Center Board of Governors is now adjourned.